Well, hello. It is Behind the Wine Wednesday. How is everyone today? I'm Erica Manfre, the Moody Wine Drinker, and today I am going to be talking to Armando of Cyunity. It's a really cool app, and I can't wait for you guys to learn about it. He's coming on, guys, so bear with me. There he is. Hey!
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Oh, look at you in the vineyard. Just going to give us all eye candy, make us jealous.
Yeah, it'd be a crime not to come find a nice spot out here.
That's awesome. So Armando, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I already gave them a little preview, so you have to tell them what the Cyunity, like what it is, before we jump into you personally.
Oh gosh, yeah, put me on the spot.
I know.
No, yeah, thanks for having me. Cyunity, really, it's kind of started a while back, about 3 years ago, and it's really kind of just, seeing the different challenges in the wine industry. I think wine is a really social, product. It's really community driven, and sometimes there's just so much noise and distraction that, we want to build this platform. It's a voice first platform kind of for the wine industry, to help small wineries and organizations that are striving for sustainability, diversity, and inclusivity in wine, to help them get their message out, because that's, I think the things that matter right now, and, to help them leap over the competition and away from the noise to be closer with their customers and their community.
So the app is just for winemakers then, or winery people?
To start out with, we want to do some testing around, I grew up in Napa, and I love the wine industry. My heart and soul is here. But yeah, so we want to test it out with small family farms and wineries and organizations to start out, but eventually, try to encompass kind of the wine region. So we're focused on kind of wine tourism space, and, so whatever we could do to make the life easier of a small business owner and a customer, to kind of create a more interactive social experience when they come to a wine region and interact with businesses. It's kind of what we're trying to do. So if that's helping them find a restaurant, talking to a chef, or if you're a student at Davis studying wine and you want to talk to winemakers, we want to make that as social and fun as possible. So that's kind of our goal. Yeah.
And is it just you right now, or do you have others that you're working with?
Yeah, we have a pretty small team. I mean, it's a complete startup, and we outsourced our team of developers from Idaho. So they're kind of in charge of the technical background. And here it's, me and have some family members here in the Valley that are kind of focused on, once we launch, to, help it grow and, really just kind of bring the community together. We have someone helping us with like photography. So what we've been doing is we've been going to small family farms and doing a podcast. We're still pretty new at podcasting. I'm trying to do these interviews and podcasts. And so we go over to their winery. We, try to get them to share their story. And, our photographer comes and does some shots and some drone footage, and we just give that to them for them to use for their website, socials. And, so that's kind of what we're doing. Meanwhile, we kind of be able to launch as soon as we launch, start just, finding people that we want to work with.
So, okay. For those of you that are just joining on, I just went straight for it. So this is Armando, and it's with Cyunity. I've been saying Cyunity because in my brain I'm like Cyunity.
I love that too. No, and that's how it's supposed to work. I think people just coming together and working together is a lot better than just one person.
Yeah. And so you are how close to launching, would you say?
I didn't know I was going to get my patience tested as much as I've been getting tested. But, hopefully in the next month or so, we'll be able to kind of just show the prototype and actually have it do a couple functions. But yeah, it's been a long journey.
And well, yeah, anytime there's tech involved too, I feel like it's like construction, like the contractor goes, okay, we'll have your house built in a year. And then 3 years later, you're still waiting for the bathtub to get installed.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
And so initially it's going to be B2B. So you're a business and you're going to be servicing businesses, but then eventually you're going to hopefully service consumers and all of that thing. I have Kathy asking a question. How are they different? I read through the whole website, and to be honest, I don't understand the basic concept. So,
thank you, Kathy.
Right?
Kathy,
so maybe we need to work on your mission statement.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, yeah. It's different in a sense that, there's so many social platforms out there. And I feel like even, we're really geared towards small family businesses, to start out with wineries. And, it's been kind of my goal, ever since I was little growing up in Napa to have my own winery. And so, went to Davis, did their viticulture program. And I'm like, okay, well, I should probably start learning some business. And so I did this business certificate at UC Davis. And, something I didn't learn, about kind of making wine is that, making wine is easier than selling it. So there's like, especially if you're the small guy, it's so hard to get your brand out there to, be heard, to even get, a shelf space at a store, and there's so many more laws that are impacting these small family farms that some can't even have, people come taste their wine.
Right. So
it really kind of just opened up my eyes. Like, okay, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to build a sustainable brand, in a way that's, that's how I want to build it, like DTC, engaging with my customers and really getting to know them and being kind of social. I've always been really social. Mm-hmm. So I really kind of started to plan backwards as to kind of seeing how I want to sell it, how I want to interact with people and, inform them in the community. Mm-hmm. So I kind of started seeing what we had available. We have social media, we have emails, we have, all these different campaigns. I mean, you could still run TV ads or ads on Facebook and stuff, but it led me to see that it's really passive. Like some of the things can be a lot of passive and bringing people in. So, it kind of just led me down this route to explore, I started getting into podcasts, a few years ago. And, I love the relationship that you have, like, in a sense, you have someone in your ear, and for a marketer, that's a marketer's dream. If you could get in someone's ear and just, share your story, your mission, your values, what you want to do, and audio just became really important to me. It's just like, I could do it anywhere, in the car, just listen at the gym, cooking, whatever. And, I really became fascinated with this idea of audio and like kind of where it's going. So we started on audio, but I was like, well, I like this idea of audio, but I don't like that it's kind of passive, because I would find myself talking to the radio, but no one was talking back. Like, I was just like, oh yeah, like that'd be great. I agree with you, Joe Rogan. You're awesome. So I was like, okay, well, there's got to be like you got to make it live, like interactive, and just be able to kind of just talk to people, jump on a topic and just meet new people, start talking to them, whether it's winemakers or viticulturists, whatever, just, open conversation, open table. So that's kind of what I envisioned. And that's kind of where we're headed. And, the voice industry, the rise of Clubhouse, I'm sure everybody has kind of seen that.
Well, I was wondering about that and about how that's going to, is that competition for you, or is it totally different?
I don't see how, I don't think that it's competition. I think it's more of, kind of social proof, the proof that people are, they need and want a space to talk and communicate and in an open room where you can kind of get your message out and get in front of people. So for me, I've just kind of been in this kind of listen and do research mode. And when I saw Clubhouse come out, I was like, wow, like you know, like that's amazing. Like at first I was like, yeah, that's literally what we've been trying to do. And now it's, you know, blown up, and there's just new evolving trends. Consumers are adapting, everything's going digital, and people crave that live interaction with more people. You know, so I think it's just been more of a help. Just, you know, we are kind of like Clubhouse, but we are focused on the wine industry and, you know, elevating the consumer experience in wine regions.
Yeah.
You know?
So you're like a niche market, like you're just going to be wine. And initially you're just going to be wineries or winemakers, like in the industry. And then phase 2 will be to branch out to consumers and then have them have access and then elevate their experience while they're in the regions.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a multi-sided platform. So bringing, you know, businesses with their consumers and just creating a great social experience.
Yeah.
And
so it's all about like almost cultivating an in-person relation or experience too. Like, so if you're a small winery, you're trying to get traffic, or you're trying to sell your product. Yeah. There's other wineries that are doing it. And so now you have that collaboration and community. Yeah. But then later, you know, there's, like you said, that multi-phase. So there's going to be the consumer element as well. And is it going to be an app, or is it going to be a website, or how is it going to launch?
Yeah. So it's going to be an app, and yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's going to be like a tool. And then could you imagine, like, if, you know, once we gain traction and stuff, and, you know, small businesses have, you know, access to this platform, and we have we're planning on having rooms called, you know, small family farms, or, you know, women-owned wineries or Hispanic-owned wineries in Napa, you know. And so if you're new to Napa and you want to use our platform, you go on here, you go on one of these channels, and next thing you know, you have Lindsay from Hoops Vineyards on there, like, hey, like, we're open, we're doing this awesome barbecue, fried chicken, DJ night on Saturday. Come on in, you know, you have live, and there's, maybe it's Saturday afternoon, and, you know, people hear that message, and we should do that, you know. And that's actually is going on this Saturday at Hoops Vineyards, virtual DJ. I don't know.
Little plug for Hoops.
Hoops.
I like it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just having that, just elevating that experience when people come to Napa, you know. It's
So we're doing this a little backwards as my usual life, because I had to jump into what it is, because we've seen the Cyunity app and we're all like, Psy, CY, like, what is it? Okay. So where did you come up with the name Psy? Like, is it CY, like that I say it, or is it Psy like a name, or how did that come about?
Kind of both. Like, I really like before it started, I think like 4 years ago, it was called Road Chat. So in a way that I wanted, you know, to create this like conversation when you're on the road and chatting, and I think Road Chat, I checked see the trademarks and stuff, and that was taken, and, you know, a lot of other names were taken. We kind of landed on Cyunity just because, you know, I do want to make it wine focused, but I also didn't want to, you know, just make it exclusive about wine. You know, it's much more than wine. It's about kind of people and community coming together around wine. You know, I think wine brings people together, and it's the stories that you engage with, and, you know, the conversations and memories. So whether that's food, wine, attractions, so it's just kind of about bringing people together, and, you know, to kind of see why unity is so important. You know,
so I was right. It is CY. Okay.
Yeah, like CY, and it works out that way. So yeah, I love it. You know.
And so Armando, you born and raised in Napa Valley?
I was born in Napa, and I was lucky enough to be raised in St. Helena by an amazing community out here. They say it takes a village to grow a child. So
I'm proof of that. I'm both me and my husband are fourth generation small town, and like we need those generations of families that are still with us. Yeah, it takes a village for sure. And so, has wine always been part of like your upbringing? Or, I mean, obviously it's been around you, but were your family, are they into wine too?
Yeah. So yeah, my parents, they came here before I was born, and they've always worked in the wine industry. And even before, you know, we're part of this town in Mexico called Jerez, Zacatecas.
Yep.
And, and it's Napa Valley has became like a lot of people from that town have came here like back to the early 40s and, 30s. And some of the first people to work with Charles Krug and, one family member helped found the clinical lay in Napa, and kind of trying to get the, farm workers better rights and better coverage and help, finding the resources that they need.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of, we landed here and it's been a huge community and kind of, we have a lot of family out here and it's been pretty awesome.
And so is this your full-time job or are you working, do you have another gig?
No, I've kind of part of a couple of different projects here. Meanwhile, kind of, this platform kind of unravels and kind of goes on. And, but I was just doing an internship this last harvest and kind of just taking this time to kind of focus on this other project that I've kind of been summoned to help out with, here in St. Helena. And, so that's been taking my time, but I do kind of want to go back into a couple different internships or, do some other stuff depending on, where the road goes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when did you first become like enamored with wine and know you wanted to get into it? I mean, obviously your parents worked in it, but that kids go one of two ways, right? They either do what their parents did or they go the total opposite.
Right. I think it was young, probably. I don't know if it was of being raised at a Catholic church and they kept telling me that wine was the blood of Christ and that convinced me. But, I think just being around it, growing up, just kind of living through the seasons, you almost feel like you're a part of the land when one season you're super cold and you want to be inside and, dormancy is going on. And then the next time in May, you got allergies and then you start seeing Eurasian, it's like this whole life cycle that you kind of just get into. And then, the aromas of harvest is just amazing. And, growing up, just kind of always loved art, loved creating things. And, I think I see wine as an art and also as a science. There's just a lot you can do. It's like you're being a chef. You have all these different ingredients. You can do so many things. And it's, I love that.
Yeah. When I was trying to decide what I wanted to be when I grow up, it was that same kind of thing. Like there's so many facets to the wine industry. There's at the very basic level, there's like the agriculture, and basic meaning ground up, not basic, like easy. And then there's the science part of like the making it, lots of labs, and then, testing for all the stuff. And it's intervention, if you're doing intervention in the winemaking process. And then, like you said, there's that whole sales function. And as more and more wineries pop up, it just becomes more and more complex. Like, how do you stand out? How do you become something that people find? And so that sales and marketing, it's such a dynamic industry where there's so many things. And it sounds like you have a background in the vineyard. You're in a vineyard now. Where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm actually at the St. Helena Library. I found this really cool table out here, and I'm been pretty bummed that the library's been closed, but there's this little table outside. Yeah,
that's awesome. And so you can't tell us when it's going to launch. Do you have any updates for us that we can get kind of an idea or gauge?
What we've been doing is just kind of reaching out to small family farms. I think that we could help them out the most, get out of that noisy, distracted world and, I this new tool that I think, clearly I believe in it, spending a lot of time and, effort on it. But, I think we're just trying to meet the right people. We've been lucky to meet a lot of great organizations, people striving for diversity in the wine industry and really making changes and fighting for that, diversity, inclusivity, social equity. I mean, it's also important. And those are kind of the people that we want to partner up with so they can, leverage this platform to get their message out, be heard and be discovered. And, but it takes a village. It's going to take a community to.
This is your little baby.
Yeah, I guess so.
And how do you is this year just all about making those farm connections and just continuing to build like the podcast? What is the podcast called, by the way?
I think it's also called Cyunity on the podcast, but it's really small. It's like, yeah, we're still working on that side, but yeah, it's kind of the podcast. I mean, I think that's just kind of, something meanwhile we get this platform out, because essentially what you're going to be able to do with the platform is create a live podcast. And unlike Clubhouse, where you can't save your conversations, on here you're going to be able to save it because you spend a lot of hours. Sorry, I could just talk about this forever, but
that's okay.
Long story short is that content on Instagram and, other socials, you take like 3 hours to create it, and the lifespan of it is like 0.2 milliseconds. There's constantly so much stuff going in there, and half the time it doesn't get seen, and people aren't going back into your Instagram and seeing like, oh, I wonder what they posted last year. Right. As opposed to like podcasts, like I'm still getting caught up on podcasts from 5 years ago that are still relevant today. So that's the power of podcasts and audio that I think the wine industry should be leveraging. And that's what we're trying to help them leverage.
Yeah. I've got clients in the social media realm, and I always say like they fret over exactly the right caption and the exact right, filter on the picture. And like you said, as soon as you post it, it's stale. So just do it. Just post. But I almost feel, the same thing about a podcast. Yes, it's consumable later, but as long as you are getting better episode after episode, you still have to just start, it's like, cause you can edit the hell out of those things too. And like over edit and go back and go, no, I want to make this adjustment. And it's the same thing. Like podcasts are becoming a noisier environment also, with a lot of pull for attention. So exactly. Just do it. It's like that old Nike adage, right? It's like, it's still so relevant. I totally agree with you. And then I think also like a thing that's intimidating about podcasts is that it's not that easy to do. Like you just said, you take so much time editing and then, you need the right equipment. And then sometimes you need a team to help you produce it and all this nonsense. And then on top of that, you still have to market it. Yeah. So it's still pretty hard. So that's kind of, another area that we're trying to focus on is, by creating this community of wineries, wine organizations, is that we're essentially, reducing the marketing costs by working together. If they're interested in you, they're going to be interested in someone else, and vice versa. Yeah. So it's really trying to champion the underdogs and, get them out there. I'm always rooting for the underdog, like whether it's a football game or if it's in business. I'm always like, everyone loves a good Rudy story,
Serious. Yeah, it's true.
Well, that's awesome. I love what you're doing. I just can't wait to see where it goes. How can we support you now? Like, is there any way that we can currently chime in and help? Just reaching out. I love, meeting new wineries, organizations that want to be heard and that they're small and, that they think that they'd be a good partner. On our website, we have an emailing list, but it's easy to just reach out. I usually respond to all the messages and, just love meeting more people and seeing how we can help. Really. Yeah. So don't be scared to reach out, talk, call. I think my phone number is everywhere, so you can call too, Well, that's how you and I met. I reached out or you reached out, and it was like, I think we were chatting about podcasts initially. Yeah. Well, Kathy loves the idea. Kathy, reach out to him if you want to help.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Is it Relio for it's Cyunity _Napa _app. Oh. So I just put the abbreviated section there. And when things open up, cool. we're definitely going to come up and see you. So, I can't wait to, like I said, and just let us know how we can support anything.
No, yeah, I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Armando, that was the lunch break.
Erica, that was it. Oh my God. I was hoping for like a couple hours. I was ready. I was out here, had notes, had everything, but one thing I did check, make sure the light life on my phone was good, and it's actually like in red right now, so I'm a little worried of when it's gonna die. But
Oh, hold on. Guglielmo is asking, they're in Morgan Hill. Are you focusing on Napa initially or just any wine region?
You know, we're focused on Napa, but we do want to explore, you know, maybe potentially testing in other wine regions as well.
Okay.
But, you know, heart and soul is in Napa, and we want to, you know, test it out. But we're looking for just people that want to help us test it. You know, if you're in Morgan Hill and you got your small family owned winery and you want to help us test, you know, we'd really appreciate that too. So
Cool. Yeah, so it sounds like just reach out, DM him, slide into his DM.
just send it.
All right. Well, thanks, Armando. This will be a podcast too when we're done, and I'll link to all your things there. So
Cool.
cheers. Have a good rest of the day.
Cheers. Thank you, Erica. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.